There's a flowering plant growing quietly across America that creates real cleansing foam when mixed with water. It blooms beside old fence rows, country roads, forgotten homesteads, and creek banks where most people never stop long enough to notice it. For centuries, people trusted this plant to wash their hair, cleanse delicate fabrics, and scrub stains from clothing long before modern stores existed. Old world gardens once depended on it, and today it still grows freely, almost unnoticed. The plant is called soapwort, and once you understand what it does, you may never look at roadside flowers the same way again. If you enjoyed discovering forgotten plants, old world gardening knowledge, and fascinating homestead skills like this, please take a moment and give the video a thumbs up because it really helps more people discover this kind of content. Thank you. Soapwort creates real foam. Inside the roots, stems, and leaves are natural compounds called saponins. The moment these compounds touch water, they release a soft lather people have relied on for many generations. The year is 1620, and the Atlantic Ocean is a wall of cold gray water. Imagine yourself standing on the wooden deck of the Mayflower, gripping a railing that is slick with salt spray as the ship groans beneath your feet. Behind you, the world you knew is disappearing into the mist. The crowded streets of England, cottage gardens blooming beside stone pathways, and the familiar comforts of home. Ahead lies a wilderness with no stores, no markets, no shelves lined with bottles and soap. For the weary settlers below deck, cleanliness is not convenience, it is survival. Everything they will need for the future has been packed into rough wooden crates and tucked into small cloth satchels before anchor ever left shore. And hidden among those supplies are two very different answers to the same problem. The first is harsh frontier soap. Now, the settlers called it black soap. It was a rough mixture made from wood ash, smoke, animal fat, and of course, survival itself. Every scrap mattered. Waste not, want not. And it was so powerful that it would burn your skin if you did not handle it correctly. It worked, but it was not gentle. It smelled like smoke, tallow, and the hardships of the frontier life itself. However, tucked away quietly in the corner of a woman's satchel is another beautiful secret. She reaches into her pocket and she feels the brittle roots of a flowering plant she knows as bouncing bet. In other words, soapwort, a simple plant once grown beside fences, cottage gardens, and the winding country paths back in England. She carried those roots across the Atlantic because she knew something that others had nearly forgotten. This plant could create real cleansing foam with nothing more than water, and it was gentle. While Galileo studies the heavens through his telescope, and candlelight flickers across the pages of Shakespeare's final writings, this humble flowering plant is crossing the ocean inside the cargo that's held on the Mayflower. And when the settlers finally step into the rocky shores of Plymouth, soapwort is planted beside streams, along rough garden edges, in the unfamiliar soil of the New World. Then something remarkable happens. It escapes. Soapwort slips beyond the garden gate. It spreads quietly through muddy wagon trails, livestock paths, and creek banks. Season after season, the pale pink flowers begin appearing farther from the settlements. By the time Isaac Newton is watching apples fall in an English orchard, soapwort has already rooted itself into the American landscape. To a weary traveler in the late 1600s, finding soapworth beside a stream could feel almost like finding a miracle. No store, no trade route, no shipment from overseas. Just crush the leaves gently between your hands, add a little water, and suddenly soft foam appears. Where moments ago there was only dust, sweat, and dirt. A quiet gift from the old world, still blooming in the new world. Have you ever heard of soapworth before today? Or do you remember older family members talking about natural plants and old-fashioned remedies like this? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your stories. One of the most fascinating connections surrounding cleansing plants appears in the Bible itself. The book of Malachi speaks about fuller's soap. A fuller was someone who cleaned and processed cloth, removing stains and whitening fabric through intense washing and cleansing. Malachi 3 verse 2, the latter part of that verse says, "For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap." So my dear friend, when life feels like a scorching fire or intense scrubbing, God is not destroying you. He is purifying you. A refiner sits by the fire until they can see their reflection in the silver. Similarly, God holds us in the flames of trials, removing impurities to make us a pure reflection of His image. He does not leave the fire. The paint of sanctification is purposeful, turning junk into valuable gold and scrubbing away the stains of sin, not to harm but to restore. We need to trust the refiner when we are going through the refiner's fire. The Lord God knows exactly how long to leave us in the heat to bring us out the best that's in us. Okay, so now let's take some moments here to do some Q&A. If you have a question that I do not go over, please leave it in the comments below. Okay, question number 1. What exactly is soapwort? Well, soapwort, which you probably already know by now, but it's also called bouncing bet, and it is a flowering plant that naturally creates a gentle cleansing foam when its leaves or roots are mixed with water. Next question is, how does soapwort make foam without real soap? Well, soapwort contains some natural compounds in its leaves, flowers, and roots called saponins, and when the leaves or roots are crushed and mixed with water, those saponins create a soft, bubbly foam. Did early settlers and pioneers really use soapwort? Yes, they did. Many settlers brought soapwort seeds and roots from Europe because store-bought soap simply did not exist on the frontier. Can soapwort really be used as a natural shampoo? Absolutely, yes it can, and this is one of the most fascinating uses of the plants. When you mix it with water, it creates that soft cleansing foam, and some people really have used it to cleanse their hair and scalp. Why was soapwort imported during hard times? Well, you can only imagine how it gave them great independence, having something to choose from over than the lye soap, because at the beginning of the frontier, there were no stores, no trade routes, and no manufactured soaps available. So soapwort could still provide a way to wash clothes, hands, skin, hair, using only a plant and some water. All right, is soapwort difficult to grow? Not usually. So soapwort is considered a hardy, easy to grow perennial, yay, perennial, that's great, in many climates. So once it is established, it can spread on its own and return year after year with very little attention. Where does soapwort grows the best? Well, it likes full sun to partial shade, well-draining soil. It also likes sandy soil and just some moderate moisture. Doesn't really need a lot of attention. Which part of soapwort creates the most foam? Okay, so you have the roots, also called rhizomes. You have the flowers, the stems, and the leaves. All of it can create foam for cleansing, but the roots usually contain the highest concentrations of natural saponins. When is the best time to harvest soapwort? Well, for most people, they harvest the leaves and the flowers during the growing season. And then later in the year, around fall or early spring, then they start harvesting the roots. But you don't want to take all the roots. You want to just dig up some, because you want to leave some in the ground to continue to spread and grow. Why was soapwort preferred over harsh lye soap for some uses? Well, that frontier black soap was made from lye and animal fat, which could be very harsh on the skin back in those days. So soapwort created a more softer, gentler foam that was often preferred for anything delicate, anything sensitive. Can soapwort spread easily? Yes, it can. So that's a good thing, though, if you're wanting to grow a lot of soapwort. Soapwort can reseed itself and spread through also the underground roots, those rhizomes. Why is soapwort sometimes called bouncing bet? Well, this is actually kind of interesting. It's a nickname, bouncing bet, and it likely came from, I'm just guessing, bet is an old nickname for a washerwoman back in many years ago. And then bouncing was referring to the movement of the clothes being scrubbed or beaten during the washing, hence bouncing bet. All right, did people dry soapwort for later use? Yes, and that's what's very unique. They often dry the roots, leaves, and flower stems to use later during their travel or their winter months. Why do some people still grow soapwort today? Well, and that's where we're at now. Do you want to grow soapwort? It's a beautiful plant to try. Number one, it is beautiful, the flowers, so it makes a very beautiful ground cover. And the pollinators, they love the flowers. It's got a lot of history behind the flowers, the plant, and the uses. And so it can kind of connect you to the old world herbal traditions. So there you go. If you have any other questions that I did not go over, like I said, please feel free to leave it below. Thank you for watching. Remember, follow Jesus daily, and I will see you in the next video.